Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, with your eyes closed, allow that tension to leave your body. Breathing in and breathing out. And as you breathe in, feel that feeling of resourceful relaxation is going inwards, and as you exhale, the tension is leaving your body. Therefore, just as a consequence of breathing in and breathing out, you're feeling more resourceful, more relaxed, and simultaneously letting go of that tension, stress, anxiety, or worries, enabling you to go deeper and deeper, relaxed now. I want you to imagine a place of tranquility. Perhaps it's indoors, perhaps it's outdoors. Maybe it's a quiet library, or maybe it's countryside. Maybe it's beach, and maybe it's mountainside. I want you to get a sense that wherever you are, it's peaceful and you're by yourself, left with your own thoughts, surrounded by a feeling of peace and quiet. As you breathe in and breathe out, just get a sense that here in this place, free of distractions, a place of tranquility, that you're able to be left with your own thoughts. And as you breathe in and breathe out, notice just how relaxed you're becoming. That's it. Deeper and deeper. Relaxed now. I want you to imagine here in this place of tranquility is what looks like some kind of futuristic device. This device could be a machine, a contraption, some kind of gadget. And I want you to get a sense that this enables you to experience a future before it happens. But before you connect yourself to this machine, this device, this futuristic technology, I want you to think about something specific that you've been putting off. I want you to get a sense that all humans procrastinate. But I want you to get a sense that there is a law of cause and effect. A tree cannot grow if a seed was not planted. I want you to evaluate this thing that perhaps you've made progress on, but perhaps you haven't completed. An area of your life that there always seems to be reasons to stop making progress. I want you to get a sense that you are entering a way of thinking where you will either visit a future and return, where you will either do this thing or you will resolve to not invest one more second in this thing. The origin of the word decision from the Latin root is to cut. So therefore, you will either cut off any other possibility of whatever the opposite is. You will either do the thing or you will not do the thing. Whatever this thing is. But there will be no future where you contemplate it but not execute it. And if you're happy that by visiting the future, That will enable you to clarify if it makes sense to do this thing or just not do this thing. But either way, you will abide by what your intuition is telling you. Just let me know by nodding your head. One of the best ways to tap into feelings of clarity as to whether or not this thing is worth doing or not is to imagine a future where it doesn't happen. I want you to connect yourself to this futuristic technology from the premise that no more work or effort will be contributed in this thing that you've been putting off or procrastinating on. As you connect yourself to this device, imagine going 1 year in the future and observing that version of you that has made no progress whatsoever in this area. And notice that not much has changed. You're still you. You're still doing the things that you're doing. The only difference is that you've got a bit more time. Not the time of doing the thing, but the time that you freed up by not having to think about doing the thing anymore. I want you to now go another 5 years in the future. 5 years that you could have made progress in this area, but haven't. What new ideas could you have added? What refinements could you have made? What progress could you have made over a period of 6 years, but haven't? I want you to get a sense that you could still do that thing, but you would have less time. Maybe things have moved on. I want you to see that your life is still able. There is still time within your days that you could be making progress on this thing, but you just aren't. Imagine going 10 years in the future now, observing yourself, seeing what age you are at that point in time. How your life is, what you're doing. But I want you to observe that you're not making any more progress and haven't made any more progress in this area of your life. I want you to get a sense that 16 years has passed, and I wonder how much progress could have been made in this area. In fact, you could have completed this thing many years ago. It would have had whatever ripple effect it would have had. And perhaps you would have already moved on to something else. There is something about having something that needs to be done or feel that you need to be done and not doing it that also impedes on lots of different areas of your life too. What are the things have you been procrastinating on? What does delaying in this area of your life do to your confidence, your ability to feel aligned with yourself? Imagine 20 years carry on into the future. Still no progress has been made. I want you to get a sense that perhaps there is a feeling of a missed opportunity. That if you never did that thing, does it bother you? It's now 36 years have passed since you could have made progress, but you didn't. I want you to imagine going forwards in time now to the last year of your life. You're not sick, but your unconscious mind is taking you to a place towards the end of your life. And I want you to now imagine being in your own body. And I want you to think back to this area of your life that you could have made progress on. I want you to scan your body for any feelings of regret and start to think of how things could have been different if you did make progress all those years ago. In many cases, we think there is more things that are required than actually are. What would it have taken you to make the decisions, to implement certain actions? As you think back in time, you realize that you had the resources, capabilities, strategies, and know-how to do this thing, and yet you didn't. And I want you to think not so much about you, but who else in the world could have missed out, could have been affected by you not doing this thing. Who could have been inspired but wasn't? Who could have felt validated but wasn't? Who in the world perhaps still feels alone and they didn't need to? Who needed to hear a message but didn't hear it? And also, you don't know what the ripple effect could have been. What if one person, what if their life could have changed? And by their life being changed, they then set about on a course of actions and decisions and life choices that then affected thousands more. We don't know the consequences. But I want you to think of the idea of the butterfly effect. That in science, something as small as the flap of a butterfly's wings in one part of the world can create storms and tornadoes in a different part of the world. And this thing that might not seem that important to you could have had consequences way bigger than you ever knew. But here you are towards the end of your life, and you never did that thing. And if that doesn't bother you, then when we return to the present, it's the easiest decision in the world. You just decide that you will invest no more time thinking or actioning this area of your life, and your reward is time to spend it in different areas of your life that are useful and beneficial. If, however, here as you look back on your life, wondering what could have been, you get a sense that you don't want it to be this way, that you want to do this thing and complete this thing and release yourself from whatever happens afterwards, that you focus on the process rather than the outcome, the action rather than the reaction. You focus on planting the seed rather than the tree or the fruit that comes from that. And if there's a part of you that knows that you have more to gain than you have to lose, and that you would be creating an injustice if you didn't do this thing, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to use this futuristic technology to now take yourself all the way back to the present in that place of tranquility. with a feeling that you have a duty to do this thing, a responsibility to yourself. Even if nothing happens, you will remove one key area of regret from your future self. Towards the end of someone's life, nobody says to themselves, I did so much and I pursued my dreams and I regret doing that. The biggest regret is wondering what could have been. And I want you to consider, what are the immediate things that you can do to make progress in this area of your life? And if you believe that motion creates emotion and that action creates momentum, then you don't need to do everything. You just need to start. And as you start, momentum builds. If you were to roll a ball down a hill, it might require effort to get the ball rolling, but then it just rolls by itself. You are unlocking all the resources necessary to create feelings of momentum in this area of your life that you will do the things to get going. And I want you to consider 3 immediate things that you can do in the next 24 hours that would build that momentum. And when you've clarified each one, just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to observe yourself as you see yourself then doing that thing, each of those 3 things, in an enthusiastic, resourceful way. You're not doing it reluctantly, you're not doing it half-heartedly. See yourself doing it congruently, all in, completely invested in doing the very best of your ability at each of these areas. See yourself passionate, enthusiastic, excited doing these things, realizing that each time you make progress, you are unlocking more and more resources to make more progress. And if you roll the ball down a hill, you don't roll the ball on the condition that the ball lands in the exact spot at the bottom of the hill that you want it to. You just start rolling the ball knowing that it's going to move in the direction that you want it to go. And if your unconscious mind is releasing yourself from the consequences of these actions, that you can control what you can control, but you won't invest any time worrying about what will happen as a result of what you do, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. I want you to get a sense that something special happens when you align with your biggest goals, your most important values, and some would even say the purpose, your calling. And this may be that area of your life, or it may not be. But the clue will be that when you make progress in an area that's of most importance to you, don't be surprised if luck and good fortune come your way. And don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if the energy required to see this to its end outcome opens up as you become more and more resourceful. And now it's time to leave this place of tranquility as you realize that all of this is just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, and that actually you're listening to my voice firmly in the present. As you now take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're in your own physical body right now. As I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful and a feeling that you don't need motivation, as this is something that is aligned with who you are anyway. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.